fuck. Oh, lads. Let's go. Welcome, this is episode 5 of Zero to Racer. My name is James and I'm documenting my journey from going from zero to racer. So my plan is to start racing this summer here in Ireland, and today we have some testing. So today we're testing our critical power. I'll give you the full breakdown of how the workout's going to go. It's about a 2-hour session. First 20 minutes is going to be nice and easy, just get myself warmed up. So the main session involves a 20-second all-out max power sprint. 5 minutes nice and easy. Then we're going to do a 3-minute max power effort. So really like full gas for 3 minutes, which is going to be probably torture. Then we have 30 minutes easy again, so kind of give it a bit of a recover between the 3 minutes, because then we have a 12-minute max power effort. So it's going to be pretty tough. We'll see where I'm at after that, and then a nice easy cool down to finish off. So the weather here is not great. I think I have a short window over the next kind of hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before it starts raining. So I'm hoping to get it done before the rain. The wind isn't too bad at the moment. You know, if I actually had a wind in my face doing the test, that would be nice, because having that breeze in your face is actually sweet when you're trying to push a little bit harder. So the bike we're using, this is my main bike right now. I haven't done any proper training on this. I've done a few sessions, but this is going to be the first proper test on this bike. Well, I mean, this bike is tested and proven. It's won races. There's a lot of top guys who use this bike, so the real test is me, not the bike. What we have here is we have the Giant Propel Advanced Pro Zero. We have it in full Ultegra Di2. There's it's 12 speeds, so we have 11 to 34 on the cassette. We have 52. What do we have on this actually? On here we have 52 36 chain rings. I'm still getting used to it. It's a new bike. I've only had a couple of sessions on it, so this is geared perfectly for me right now and for these Irish roads. The SLR 1's on here, and we have 30mm tubeless on this as well. So I'm still kind of getting used to it. I haven't got a proper bike fit on this bike yet. I probably need one, but today we're doing some testing. So let's get out on the road and let's get going. We're just getting started. It's a part of the game. Building anticipation, getting close to the edge. Now you think I see you more than a friend. Better late than never. Now it's all over me. These reflections of you. The thing that's taken me the most time to get used to on this bike has been the saddle. So on the Cube, the last bike I was using, it was a more comfortable saddle than this one, but it wasn't in the right position. I couldn't bring the saddle forward enough, whereas this saddle is a standard Giant saddle, and I feel the position is better, but it's not as comfortable. It's taken me a while to get used to it. If you have any recommendations on the right saddles I should be trying, I think this is just a standard Giant saddle, so there probably are maybe more comfortable ones or better ones out there maybe. Let me know what ones you're using or ones you recommend. I will be getting a bike fit over the next week, so maybe he might have some recommendations on saddles, maybe the right fitting saddle. And I think it's going to take me a little bit to get used to this new type of training, because I've always been so focused on heart rate based training. So like I've always kind of judged how I've been feeling, or like I've always judged my sessions on heart rate. So let's say if it's like an easy section now, like I have a 20 minutes here, that's nice and easy, I would judge it off heart rate. So I kind of go around, I kind of keep it like 120. That's a nice easy heart rate to stick at. Whereas power based training, like you kind of follow the watts, I think. So that'll be something new to kind of get used to, because apparently heart rate can change a lot, like based off sleep, if you've had caffeine, like kind of food you've eaten, the fatigue you have. So it's not a super accurate way of training. And as well, I've added the cadence to my Garmin here, so I can see what I'm doing. So like before, I had no idea what cadence I was doing. Like right now I'm doing 72. To be honest, if you'd asked me before today what cadence this was, I had no idea. Could have been 50, could have been 100, I had no idea. So this is a good thing to learn as well.
So in these longer YouTube videos, I want to be sharing, you know, everything I'm doing. I want to be, you know, transparent with every single thing that I do. And if you have any questions, like, you ask me in the comments. Like, do you want to know anything about my training? Do you want to know anything about what I'm doing? Like, I want to include you as much as I can. I want you to be part of this journey. I get a sense a little bit as well that cycling can be a very secretive sport. You know, don't be sharing numbers, don't be telling people what you're doing, kind of keep to yourself. Whereas I don't want to be like that, you know, because I suppose I'm never going to be at the top, so sharing my stuff is not going to make a difference, you know. But I want to share everything, you know. If you want to see all my numbers, if you want to see everything I'm doing, you can just look at my Strava. I post all my workouts on my Strava. Well, only all my cycling workouts. I don't post my gym sessions on there. But I can if you want. Like, if you want to see the gym work I'm doing, like, I'm in the gym twice a week, I can start posting about that too. Like, my whole aim is just to be documenting my journey here, showcase what I'm doing, try not to have anything scripted or staged. I just want to show you how it is. Holy fuck. Oh fuck. I kind of mistimed that. The road was running out in front of me. The road was running out in front of me, and I needed to turn around so that I wouldn't run out of the road. I kind of mistimed the start of it. Fuck, that was my fault. But I still gave it 20 seconds, so probably didn't have the best start to it. Well, I mean, it's alright. Should be okay. Oh, fuck. Oh, let's just finished a 3-minute test, like, over a minute ago. Whoa, that was tough. I stayed seated the whole time. Just really nice cadence, nice power. First 2 minutes was kind of nice and strong, and then I tried to, you know, grind out a little bit more for that last minute. So we're not doing too bad now. We have 27 and a half minutes until we go and do our 12 minute. So 12 minutes is going to be 4 of those 3 minutes. That's going to suck. So I'm just approaching the section where I'm going to do the 12 minutes. It's kind of a nice gentle pull. So if you're in the Bandon area, you'll know it's pretty much from Bandon to top of Scaredone, it's called. So it's kind of on the main Bandon to Timberleague Road. It's a nice section. I actually like it. My fastest time ever was 12 minutes 50 seconds, I think, and that was with a group. So I'm thinking if I start at the very bottom, which is right here now, and then I push until the very top. I should get the test done before I reach the top, because if I reach the top, it could literally go straight into a downhill, so I don't want to be doing that because that might ruin the end of my test. So yeah, seeing as I'm not part of a group, I might do it a little bit slower myself. So I'm expecting it should take me like 13-14 minutes. I could be cutting a little bit tight. If I'm stronger than I think I am, then I could run into a problem, but let's go. I'm not going to film any of this because if I do, I'm going to distract myself. So it's blinkers on, let's get this done. Let's see what we can do. Oh my God. Fuck, that was tough, man. I got cut 5 seconds short. Thankfully it was only 5 seconds. I'm at the top of the hill now. So it was just the right amount of time, or the right distance. But there was cows crossing the road. Literally just at my finish line. So I stopped like 5 or 6 seconds. Thank God it wasn't a minute or two left. That would have driven me insane. Oh. Usually I have one hand on the handlebars and one hand like up here to talk, but I'm fucked. Whew. But that felt pretty strong. I'm happy enough with that. I don't think I could have pushed much more. I tried to judge, not to go all out at the start, and then try and build it up. So just enjoying the last kind of stretch here now. I just avoided the rain, thank God. I have no idea what these stats mean on my computer. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to pass you over to Daire and we're going to dive deep into these stats and understand the data, because this is the first time I'm jumping into any form of data to see what we're doing. So this is the true test to see where we're at and the new baseline. These are not anything to be worried about or to be concerned about. I'm using these numbers as, right, this is where I'm at now, let's push to here and here and here. That's the goal. Always strive to get better. Don't be comparing yourself to anybody, and don't be comparing yourself to me, because I'll be honest, I'd be comparing myself to lads who are way ahead of me, but I need to stop. I need to compare myself to these numbers today, and move forward from them. Okay, let's see what Daire has to say.
Test went really, really well, okay? And it was actually quite surprising to see. But then when we look at other things such as weight, it's not too surprising either. Like if you were 60 odd kilos and you came back to me and said, oh, I'm just after doing 461 watts for 3 minutes and then 370 odd for 12 minutes, I'd be saying, okay, let's get you on the world tour. But when you look at that you're 87 kilos, near 90 kilos, it's not taken away from the test, but it does bring us back down to earth a small bit. But then at the same time, when we apply them to the context of, let's say, C3 racing, they're well above where they need to be in order for you to be able to perform for that. And like really, if you're doing these numbers when it comes to C3 racing, I would say podium should be very doable, just looking at numbers alone. I would say long-term goal, once that's achieved, is winning a C3 race and then getting yourself up to C2, providing you're not sick of cycling by that point. So going back to the test itself, so you did 461 watts for 3 minutes, and 12 minutes you did 373 watts. So yeah, I said 371 earlier. I'll give you the 2 watts extra, which gives us a critical power. Gives us a critical power of 340 watts. Now, critical power, you could argue it's the same thing as functional threshold power. So a lot of people will be on about FTP, what's my FTP, that type of thing. But at the end of the day, we can use both to set our training zones. Critical power is more of a definitive line. Let's say across the line or get really close to that line, things start to go downhill physiologically very, very fast. And it's a lot more accurate when it comes to testing. We can get things out of it as well in terms of our ability to perform above critical power, above threshold, let's say, and through that 3-minute test that we did, which gives us a metric called watt prime, W prime. And essentially what that is your battery, it's your matchbox. It's basically your matchbox. It gives us an idea of how long you can push at certain powers above that critical power, how long it's going to take you to recover, all of those things. So it can be a very useful metric when it comes to racing. It can be a very useful metric when it comes to designing intervals and training and things like that. So we get a lot more bang for our buck out of this test compared to others. And another impressive thing that we got out of this was, so just the prime things, we did a bit like a 20-second sprint ahead of the 3-minute effort, and that was very, very impressive. So your peak power, if I get it up here and go back to entire workout, your peak power was 1372. That's very, very good power output. Like if we took 10 kilos off you, like that would win you C2 races in a sprint, just if we're looking at raw power numbers. If we bring you to the finish line in a good fresh state in a C3 race and you're in a good position and you can pull the trigger and do those numbers, 1300 odd watts, there's very few people who are going to be able to stay with you, put it that way. There's guys there winning races with 200 watts less. So whatever you've been doing up until now for your entire life, it has worked wonders. This is not just coming from the last month of training, there is a bit of ability there based off this. I wouldn't say natural ability, because you still have to do a lot of work on top of that, but you can see that your training history up until this point, whether that's playing football, running, going to the gym, it's standing to you, and that's really, really handy to have. If we were just coming from, let's say, the couch for the last 20 odd years to going on the bike, and trying to achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve now, we would not be seeing these numbers. So it does pay to be active. It doesn't really matter what the vehicle is, but as long as you're active, generally you can turn your hand to a lot of things, and that's evident here with this alone. So yeah, happy days, good test. Now, as I said to you previously, when we look at power meters, there is a bit of, let's say, ambiguity around power meters and the accuracy of power meters, things like that. And some people are going to probably say to you, calibrate your power meter based off these outputs. And while that may be true, we could just use these numbers for now, see how you respond. If the heart rate is lining up with certain efforts, then I'm going to be saying this test is pretty accurate. But I am pretty confident that this is thereabouts, like it's not like you're doing 5 watts per kilo at critical power. Like, we're still doing just over 4 watts per kilo, which is not today Pogacar numbers or anything like that. But it's a really, really solid starting point. Just above 4 watts per kilo at critical power. You should take that every day of the week. And yeah, just a lot more work to do from here on. Going forward then, when it comes to training, is this going to change what we're doing with our training? No. I think we are going to get a lot more out of doing what we have been doing, but we're just going to do it a lot more accurately now with the power. You probably noticed that if you're going out training to heart rate, you could be in the middle of a 10-minute effort and you could freewheel for 5 or 6, 10 seconds even, and the heart rate wouldn't drop at all. Like, it might drop 2 or 3 beats, but if you do that with power, it goes to 0. So there is no hiding with the effort when it comes to power, which is the beauty of it. And that's why it can be more fatiguing in the long term, because there's no hiding with it. And you might notice from here on that you're going to be a lot more tired when it comes to your training. And it's just a case of managing that training load a little bit more. But yeah, look, what I would say to you as well, I noticed there on your 4-hour training ride. So when we look at doing like an endurance ride, what we don't want to be seeing this. So general endurance ride, steady general endurance ride. Now we will get more descriptive with our numbers because we have the power. But if we're seeing the likes of 938 watts for 5 seconds, it's a sign that we're pushing a little bit harder than we should be. So like the likes of a just general endurance ride is just going to be from here on just zone 2, nice and steady. And if we're pushing for long durations above the described or the description, let's say, for the session, then that can be bringing us out of the targeted, let's say, physiological adaptation that we're chasing. It can really throw things off and start to create a lot more fatigue than these rides should. So I am going to be able to see where you pushed it on. Even if it's only for 2 or 3 seconds, it's going to show on the file, whereas heart rate, it wouldn't do that. So you may find that training rides might get a little bit slower, but in a return, the long term, you're going to get faster when it comes to outputs and racing. So that's essentially it. It's going to change your thought around training. You're going to be probably a bit more mentally tired as well from looking at numbers and stuff like that. But look, that's part and parcel with it. So look, it's all exciting. There's nothing bad here. It's riding our bike at the end of the day, just with a few more numbers thrown in the mix.
Oh yeah, I'm not even that worried about the numbers either. Like even the last couple of days, like it hasn't even worried me much. The thing that worried me the most was trying to be consistent with those numbers that day.
Yeah.
Well, that 900 watts, that was me going for a 20-second descent KOM.
Yeah.
I got it, but it was it was like 26 seconds or something like that. That's why.
But if you do those things, make sure you fucking get the KOM, is all I'd say.
I got it by 1 second.
It's a wasted effort. But look, it's just trying to be sensible. Like I do not want to take away the enjoyment of riding the bike. I think Strava and KOMs, they all serve a purpose, and it's nice to have that unstructured competitiveness just through a training ride alone. So that can be incorporated into the training sessions. By pushing it on, it just makes it a little bit more difficult to manage the fatigue, and we may end up with a bit more training load than we initially planned for, and that can compound across the week. So if we push it on a small bit every single ride, you might get away with it for 2 weeks, but you will have a crash, and that crash does come. But yeah, look, it's fine. It's all a learning curve from here on. It's nice to see that the numbers are good, and look, they're going to continue to get better, based off your consistency up until now. I think it's nice for everybody to see that James hasn't really missed a training session. The only thing on his training peaks where the colour is off is he's probably done a little bit more than he should have done on planned days, and that just throws training peaks off. But look, everything has been solid. Sleep is good. You're recovering from your training ride, so it's a sign that nutrition is pretty dialed in. Can it improve? It always can. But yeah, look, let's see where the next 2 weeks take us. And we should have a race on the calendar pretty soon, I'd hope. Yeah.